I have been recording for the past 5 minutes and then I realized that I didn't even switch on the camera. Oh god. So welcome to this very depressing vlog, because in this vlog we're going to be trying to get out of the worst slump of my life, and this slump is so bad that I literally feel like I'm never going to read a word on a page ever again. It's that bad, and I'm not going to be pointing fingers. That's not my style. I don't point fingers, but there was just this one book that was so, it did something to me, and since then I haven't been able to read. It's been at least a week of me just picking up books, discarding books. I am so not in the mood, and it's irritating me. It's making me cranky. It's making me moody. I hate being in reading slumps. So the solution for that always works for me is reading thriller books, because they're fast paced, they keep you hooked, they keep you guessing, and I think the fastest way for me to get out of reading slumps is to read thriller books. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. I put all the books on my thriller TBR in a spinner wheel. Then I let the spinner wheel decide the book that I wanted to read next, the book that I was going to read next, because the spinner wheel knows what I like better than I know myself. And that's one of the symptoms of being in a slump. You just can't decide what to read next. So the first book the spinner wheel chose for us, I did spin the spinner wheel yesterday night because I thought I was going to read, but then I didn't. But the first book the spinner wheel chose for us is, drumroll, Dead on the Nile by Agatha Christie. This would definitely not have been my first choice, but that's why we let the spinner wheel decide our fate. But yeah, this is going to be the first book for the vlog. This is obviously like a cozy book. It's not like a proper thriller. It's not going to creep you out. It's going to be sweet and nice, but I like Poirot stories. I really like a good whodunit Poirot mystery. So yeah, is this a Poirot mystery? Yeah, this is a Poirot mystery, and those are always worth reading. So that's going to be the first book of our vlog. I am excited to see how it goes, and we are going to read 3 books in this vlog, and we're just going to see if that helps us, if that gets us out of the slump. And I really hope it works, because reading some slump Saanvi is just not a Saanvi you want to interact with ever. So yeah, that is the first book we're going to be reading, and I hope it keeps us entertained enough to remind us why books are our best friends. What was that sentence? That sentence makes sense, but yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, and I'll see you with an update soon. Bye bye. Also, if you think that I'm going to be guessing this, I won't. I like being surprised by my thrillers. I like just having a good time reading it, getting creeped out, sometimes not getting creeped out, just picking up on the clues, the hints, the drama, and then just being surprised by the climax, by the reveal. So I'm not going to try to guess it, but I might. I probably won't, because I don't actively employ my brain in this, but yeah. I like that the font is really big. I think that's going to make it easy for me to get into the book. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. I've been so sick this week, it's not even a joke. I first had stomach issues, then I had throat issues, and then I got my periods. So it's been a hectic week, and then being in a reading slump, you can imagine how horrible it must have felt. But yeah, I guess we're gonna start reading, and then things are gonna get better. So I've read up till page 146, which is not a huge portion of the book, but the person who is supposed to die is still alive. I honestly, I know this is supposed to be like a sightseeing kind of murder mystery, like we're exploring Egypt, and it's just a very scenic narrative, But I just want to get to the murder mystery at this point because I love the characters, I love the character introductions, I love all their lives and all the drama, but I just genuinely want to get to the murder mystery, to the motives, to the nitty gritties of it. She's still alive, so I don't know how that's gonna happen, but yeah. And this person, like the person who's supposed to die, and it's written on the back, so honestly I can see why people don't want to kill her. She's a really really annoying character. Like even I want to kill her. So I that's what makes this narrative interesting, because everyone has a motive to kill her. She's just a very annoying creature in general. So yeah, I just really want her to just and for us to get to the mystery. That's the update. See you again soon. So I did finish Death on the Nile last night, and I gotta say this one was honestly a really interesting read. It did live up to my expectations. It delivered exactly what I wanted it to. This was like a typical Poirot detective story, and I had a good time with it. I love stories like these, and these are like really character-driven books. Like you're given a whole introduction of the environment where we are set, and like the characters, their backgrounds, what's going on in their life. So I really like how those aspects play out. I think the climax, the revelation, all of it were really interesting. Like I was hooked, I was gripped, I was sat like okay, I want to know what's happening. So I really enjoyed that. One thing that did bother me was the ending. Like I really need to know where all the money went. Like the person who died in this book, she's a very big heiress, and the way the climax played out, I need to know what happened to all that money. The business aspects were, but yeah, there were a lot of side plots, and since she's a very rich heiress, the business aspect was also going on in this book, and there were a lot of other revelations, plots, side plots happening. So that was really interesting. I liked how love was a very big motive in this novel, so we have a lot of love side angles as well. So I really like that portion. I think this was a really character driven, fast paced, not fast paced, I wouldn't call this fast paced, it was mid paced, but this was really interesting overall. I think this is a narrative that you will enjoy. I think this is a mystery that is very enjoyable in general. So that's my take on that on the Nile. Was I wearing the same t-shirt in the last clip as well? I don't remember, but if I was, then what can we do? That's just the way I operate. I have 4 t-shirts and I just circulate them around. Also today we've had so many load sheddings going on, like it's been raining like cats and dogs, so everything is just waterlogged, and they've turned off the transponder transformer. They've turned off the transformer, so there's like this city-wide, there are like areas where there are complete blackouts, and our area seems to be one of them. So electricity is coming on and off, so that's just what's going on here today, which is why everything is just at like a standstill, and it's turned out to be an unexpectedly free day for everyone, which I don't know what to think about it. But yeah, our first book for this readathon was a solid 3.5 stars. They did get me out for Slump, maybe 10%. I'm not fully in the mood to read yet, so 10%. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna attribute to this book's slump overcoming abilities. But it's time to select our next book. Can you see? I think you can, but let me just better. So we're gonna choose our next book. Oh god, what's that book? I was hoping for a Freida McFadden. Yes, I am. I really wanted a Freida McFadden because she is just a really fast-paced author, like thriller writer. She's one of my favorite thriller authors ever. I think her books are literally popcorn reads. They are so fast, so bingeable, so easy to digest. And yeah, that's what our next book is going to be. All four books are on Kindle Unlimited, so I expect that I'll find this book there too. So yeah, that's the next book for this readathon. I'm so happy. I was literally rooting for Freida McFadden ever since I started this video. So yeah, our next book is The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden. It is on Kindle Unlimited. So I'll start reading and I'll see you with another update very, very soon. So I just finished The Perfect Son some time back. I went had my dinner, so I've had some time to collect my thoughts, and I think this was a book that was really predictable. Like, I didn't expect the plot twist because I wasn't actively trying to guess it, but if I had been, this wasn't a plot twist that was very like it didn't blow my mind away, like it didn't change the trajectory of the story for me. I really enjoyed the first half because I felt that it was really dramatic, it kept me hooked, I found it very interesting and just really fun. It was so bingeable, but I think the second half kind of slacked off and we were just repeating a lot of things that we had already explored in the first half. And the main character whose head we were in, the mother of this perfect son, was like a really annoying character. Sorry, my lips just start standing bleeding sometimes because I bite my lips a lot. So yeah, anyway, so the like supposed mother of this perfect son, she is the person whose head we were in the most, and I don't think she's a very interesting character. Honestly, her inner monologue was really just very bland and repetitive, and yeah, I didn't enjoy that aspect. So this was also a pretty solid 3.5 stars because it was like a typical Freida McFadden. It's a popcorn read. I really enjoyed just being in the story, being part of the story. I really enjoyed my experience of reading this book, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking or something that's gonna stick in my head for a long time. But I think Freida McFadden is just one of those authors that I really adore reading books from anytime I get the opportunity. So yeah, this is the second book of this readathon completed, and I think that genuinely contributed so much to just helping me overcome my slump. I think that was a really good book. I think I'm almost out of the slump, but we're going to move on to the last book of this readathon. I have my spinner wheel ready here. So throughout the week, like throughout whatever time we've been doing this vlog, I have been adding and subtracting books that I feel like I would be interested in, because I don't want to read books that I'm not in the mood for, because that would only just deepen the slump, and the point of this vlog is genuinely to just get out the slump, and that's my main intention. So yeah, I'm just hoping for books that I really want to read, and I do have a short novella on here. It's like maybe 100-page book, and I'm really hoping that I get that one, because that's just like the perfect way to round out this readathon. But it's up to the wheel, I can't do anything. So yeah, let's spin the spinner wheel. Okay, this was honestly one that I was not hoping for. This is a John Mars book called The One, and I genuinely don't want to read this one. I don't know why. I think it's about like a social experiment trying to find the one, but yeah, it's a really interesting premise. But this was probably my last priority on the list that I made here. My first priority being the novella, but let's read the book. Let's see how it goes. I hope it's short, but yeah, I'll see you with another update soon. Okay, I thought about it for like 1 second, but I think I want to take a respin. This is just not a book that I was hoping for, and the other options on this list are way more appealing to me. Like any of them would be better than this book. But should I just abandon the wheel and just go off on my own and read the little novella? That's what I'm really in the mood for, because that would really help me overcome the slump.
Wait, I'm gonna take the. I'm really conflicted now. Should I or should I not? Okay, I think I'm just gonna take this thing. You know what? Why not?
I'm sorry, I really just want to read the novella and just get out of my thriller era, because I really want to get to my September TBR now and just read those. So I'm gonna read this book. It's called The Ex-Wives Club by Sally Hepworth, I think, but that's just what I'm gonna read. I'm sorry, I'm abandoning the wheel and I'm rebelling. I'm going off on my own. But that's just what we're doing now. This is going to be my last book for this reading vlog, and I'll probably complete it in some time, but I won't be able to give an update till morning. But yeah, I think we're going to be able to close off this vlog today itself, and I would have really overcome my slump, I think. So I'm really happy about that, and I'll see you with an update soon. So I did finish the Ex-Wives Club sometime back this morning. If you don't know what the story is about, it's basically about this patriarch of the big curly family. He's a very wealthy rich man. He owns a restaurant, and in his restaurant he hosts his three ex-wives. Like, they meet up very frequently. They call themselves the Ex-Wives Club, and this patriarch was murdered. So we have this detective who's investigating what happened and everything, and that's how the story goes. It's basically a murder mystery, and I wouldn't say this is my favorite book that I've read even during this reading challenge. I think the Curly family drama was very interesting, and I think instead of making this a novella, we should have been given the time to explore that drama and just give it depth and intrigue, because all the characters of this family, like the three ex-wives, the children, the girlfriend, all of them were very interesting characters, and if they had been given some time to develop, if we had gotten to know them more, I think this would have been a very good murder mystery. I think it was fun. It was a good palate cleanser. It was short, fun, delightful, all those things a novella should be. It was good, but I think it could have been better. So this is also part of the, I think it's pronounced, Alibis collection, where all these different thriller authors are writing novellas. The first one was Death Row by Freida McFadden, and we all know how I feel about that. Exactly what I feel about this one, that it should have been given some time to just expand, because that was a story that could not, like the novella that Freida McFadden wrote called Death Row, that could not have been expanded upon. But this is a murder mystery that needed expansion. That was how it would have been, like a very good thriller mystery novel. And yeah, I think I like the ending. It was predictable. It was nothing extraordinary, very fascinating, but I think it was a good palate cleanser, and I think it was a very good addition to this challenge, because the point was to overcome my reading slump, and I think I've overcome this slump at least 75%, and that's a big number considering how big the slump actually was. This was probably one of the worst slumps that I've had in a while, so I'm happy about that. I think this was a really good challenge. I think I've had the books that I really wanted to read for this challenge. Like, these books would probably have been my first pick if I had gone to pick them myself as well. And I did choose the Ex-Wives Club myself, so that's not a big, uh, that's not a very accurate saying or anything. But yeah, I think this was a really fun challenge. It was a very successful challenge because I did overcome my reading slump, and I'm really happy about it. And yeah, I think this challenge also reminded me what I love about thrillers, the kind of thrillers that I love, because it's definitely not a genre I read often, but this is a genre that really helps me overcome my slumps. So I'm very happy about that. This brings us to the end of the reading challenge. I had so much fun doing this challenge. This was probably one of my favorite challenges that I've done in a while. Let me know if you enjoyed watching it. Let me know what kind of videos you would like if you would like me to do more videos like these, like reading romantasy for a week or reading romance for a week. Let me know if you would enjoy that. I hope that I'll see you again in the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.